Before that, Nimesh is standing by. Nimesh, this has been a tough day to navigate so much volatility, particularly in the last hour. But the firm is, the trend is firmly lower.
Well, absolutely, Rima. And after a brutal last week, to follow up with another 2% cut across indices, massive selling in the broader market stocks as well. That shows that India is relatively now underperforming all the Asian peers. And there are a lot of reasons which are converging at a similar point in time. One, the rising crude prices. Two, there is still a lot of geopolitical risk which is hovering around. Three, even the earnings season is going to be quite muted. Q2 is generally seem to be quite muted as well. So even that earnings support is not going to be there, at least in the near term, and hence maybe that explains that we are underperforming it to some extent. But again, there is from a flow perspective, it looks like there is another day of aggressive selling by the FI. So the buy-sell ratio is supposed to 1:2 on the sell side. That's overall feedback, and there is selling across the board. So last week, what we saw was selling largely in the large cap names and the private bank stocks. That seems to be not the case. It looks like today is across the board selling. So again, the fact that the mid cap index is down over 2%, there are some chatter as well that maybe there is some redemptions as well across some ETFs. So need to see whether that's really been the trend. But that explains the kind of fall we're seeing in the broader market stocks today. I guess two things to watch out for in the very near term. China reopens tomorrow, so that's a big trigger to watch out for, especially from a metal stocks point of view. And tomorrow we're also going to see the state election outcomes, and that's going to have a big impact as well. Sentiment though, but will have an impact as well on the market. So those things to track. But from a flow perspective, it's another down day and aggressive selling by the FIs.
Thank you. Thank you very much for that, Nimesh. I think 40,000 was the FI selling last week, and today we could have another big sell number. But what about stocks? What have you picked up?
Well, so in terms of individual names, the first stock is Care Ratings. In a weak market, that stock is relatively outperformed. This last 10 odd days, the stock is up 10-11%. I understand the selling pressure from a leading PMS is largely over. Some good funds have bought as well, and hence looks like the supply overhang is out of the way, and hence that stock has outperformed of late. So that's the first name. The second stock is Hindustan Aeronautics, HAL. That's been constantly under pressure, and there is aggressive selling from larger FIs. I understand a very, very large long-only fund is an aggressive seller in HAL of late, and hence that stock is under pressure of late. So that's the second name. The third stock is High-Tech Pipes. Well, the stock has rallied a bit in the last few weeks and months, but now I understand the company is likely to raise funds via QIP very soon. So that's something to track in High-Tech Pipes. And the last is Kotak Bank. While the bank Nifty is under pressure for the last many days, there was a feedback in the morning, at least the sense was that there is buying into select bank names, and Kotak Bank stands out. So aggressive buying is what I understand, at least at a leading FI desk as far as Kotak Bank is concerned.
Okay. Thanks very much, Nimesh, for that. Yeah, any bit of buying anywhere that's possible, I think the bulls will take it with both hands. We should actually pull up some